Hi, everyone. Welcome to Repair Desk webinar. I'm Amara from Repair Desk, and we're here to discuss the 10 common mistakes cell phone repair shop owners make. So we wrote an article a while back on the topic, and it generated a lot of conversation on social media. So here we are today with cell phone repair industry experts who will break down each mistake one by one and go into greater depth. Introducing our first guest, and the inspiration behind the article is Dennis Kutsu, the owner of First Response Phone Repair. He made 1.5 million in 2020, and that's a pandemic year. Thank you for joining us today, Dennis.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Our next guest has been in the repair industry for 8 years and owns 14 repair stores. And owns 14 repair stores. Noticing gap in proper marketing for cell phone repair shops, he co-founded Ad Central in 2020, a video platform designed especially for cell phone repair shops. Israel, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, thank you guys.
Welcome.
Our next guest has been in the electronics industry for the past 15 years and has built a franchise empire, having franchised 40 stores so far and growing. We welcome Timothy Phelps, the COO of Techie. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Our next guest started working in the repair industry when he was in college. 7 years down the lane, he's the proud owner of a successful franchise of Computer Repair Doctor in Cleveland. Hi, Alex. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Our next guest has worked in the wireless industry for over a decade. He successfully owns a wireless retail shop, Unlimited Prepaid Distribution, and a complete marketing solution for cell phone repair shops, Upluck. He also coaches new repair shop owners and helps them build their business. Ahmed, we're delighted to have you on our panelists. Welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Our last guest on the panel is the CEO of Repair Desk, point of sale software for cell phone repair shops. Hi, Osman. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Mara, for having me here.
So let's get down to, let's start discussing the common mistakes. We're going to start with the first mistake, which is generally the common belief with repair shop owners is that they charge very high prices for common repairs, even if they don't have a lot of expenses. They charge very high prices in comparison. Dennis, can you start over here?
Yeah, sure. One thing is, what I noticed, and especially I refer back to cell phone repair shop talk, and just phone calls that I usually have to understand competitors that are in the area. One thing is I noticed that a lot of owners will make, very high prices and make it an inconvenience for their customers. I know a lot of times people disagree and people will have their opinion of valuing what their work is and what the value is. But a lot of times what I like to do is I'll have my employees call around, local areas to see exactly what they're charging so that we can be competitive, but at the same time, so that it can be reasonable for customers as well. Because everything has a price value. And if you don't know the value of what's going on around you or in your city, and you have competitors that are doing it at a cheaper price, sometimes they can be even better, repair guys. They can be better technicians, they can be better solderers, but they can have it for a cheaper price. So we try to be very competitive in everything that we do, price-wise, and to make sure that we have the best and the highest quality as well. So, my belief is that if you want to attract customers, you have to know the area that you're in. You have to know what prices you have, because right around the corner, you can have somebody that can be shutting you down slowly without you even knowing it.
Thank you. Alex, could you please add to this? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I agree 100%. You really do have to know your market. Really, you have to do the research and really make sure that the repairs that you're providing for your community, you're not pricing yourself out of the industry. You can't be offering 5-star repair prices, in a 2-star neighborhood. And what we do, here is everything that we price, you really want to keep the customer's best interest, and we'll let them know that, if your repair, whether it's a phone or a computer or a MacBook, if just the economics of it, if it's too expensive or more expensive to repair it than the device might be worth, that, you relate to the customer, and that wins you really a customer for life, letting them know you're on their side. So it is really, though, doing the research, making sure you're not priced out of the market, and they're not just reaching, going to your store, getting a price, and then going down the street and realizing somebody's half price or whatever. There's the other side of that. You don't want to be too low. You don't want to be the bottom of the barrel in your area and bringing everybody else down and making it impossible to earn a living in this industry.
Absolutely.
It's all about being fair and making sure it's an affordable and right thing to do for yourself and your customers.
Yeah, I remember Dennis mentioning that, for a simple repair with screen replacement, a $30 profit should generally do. But a lot of people disagreed. They were like, this is like, we don't want cheap customers. And, they went down that road. Tim, what do you have to say about that?
It's so funny, guys. I do a 9 o'clock meeting with my staff members, all my stores, my 250 people that are part of our company. And we just talked about this today. And it's some of the things, and the most important thing is obviously putting out a price sheet, making sure that everybody knows what the prices should be. But there's a guideline that we follow. Doesn't matter what time, what day, when the price goes up and down. The way we do it is, if the part costs 50 or less, we charge a $75 labor. If it's 50 or more, we charge $100 labor. And that's where we follow the guidelines, and it never changes. Guys, it's all about experience when you give into these customers. It's about the experience, and you want to gain those customers. It's all about customer value life. So you want to do whatever it takes to obviously gain that customers, but you're selling an experience more than just a product. And so you have to understand that more than anything. So that's kind of what we do and how we strategize. I mean, you have good and bad LCDs, so you have to understand that too as well when you're pricing. But look, transparency is everything with customers, and if you're transparent with them about the process, look, they're going to come back to you every single time, no matter what your price is. Really, you know what I mean?
100%.
You got to be transparent with them, and that's what it's all about. And you got to treat your customers as family, and that's what it's all about, really, guys. Thanks.
So, Ahmed, you've had a lot of experience. You even coach new cell phone repair shops. People who are just starting out. What do you have to say to those people? I mean, how do you keep your prices competitive in the beginning? Because that's the time when you're struggling and you're trying to make the most out of your services.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you, Tim. You touched a spot right there: the meetings and the training, and giving the value of what you are really giving to the customer. It's actually the value of the experience.
Yep.
I can't see the name. Alex said the pricing. You need to know. You have to be competitor. Each one of us has a very strong point, but Tim touched me when he said the morning meetings, setting the pricing with the team, discussing a situation in the stores. Because each store has a separate, the demographic, different customers, some issues. So this is like a learning experience and training at the same time. What I would, I don't have a repair place, but I can coach people how to set their pricing and train their team, have a uniform. We all want to we all look at the franchisee and we want to be one of them, but we don't do what they do to get to that level. So in order for us to get to that level, we have to uniform the store, train the employees, discuss pricing and issues with the employees, because each employee can have something happen with them and they're keeping it in their heart. They're scared to talk to their boss about an issue. So always be more transparent with the employees as well as the customer, and explain to them exactly what you're doing to them and what value you're giving them. Because if someone walked in and said, I can do this for $20 less down the street, tell them, okay, are they going to give you a warranty? Are they going to explain to you exactly what happened? Are they going to look into your issue? They're going to give you as a grace period. You can come in anytime for any problem. We're here for you. All these things, bring in a family member and get a 20% off. Of course, we'll get to the social media and marketing and everything to market yourself and show the neighborhood and show all your customers what you bring into the table and a value to the neighbor. Let your customers know who you are. Go to them by advertising and let them know what you do and what you are about. $1, I always tell my customers, I'm not going to compete $1 for $1, but I'm going to give you experience that you've never had before. I will make sure that you're happy. I will make sure that I'll do all, and we have a strategy, and we have set pricing. I know you change the pricing every now and then. Of course, we have to change the pricing, don't get me wrong, but not every other day. I mean, set the price, because if you want to run 4 or 5 stores, you're going to run yourself crazy arguing with them about, oh, no, don't charge this much, charge this. So this morning meetings, or at least twice a week, I do this every day with my team. Every morning at 10:30, we have a meeting. We discuss everything and what I can do for them and what they can do for me. So working as a team is very important, and we will achieve the success 100%. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Israel, you have 14 stores, and how do you make sure that you're pricing your repairs, just the right, just the right amount? How do you ensure that you're not charging too high or too low? Like some of them, I think Alex or Dennis said that, you go around, do market research. But then again, you are charging a certain amount for your services, what you think is worth your service, right? How do you ensure that your customers are okay with whatever price you're offering?
I think pricing is tricky, right? And I think that's why this is such a good question. I think for us, it is all about understanding our market, right? So as a store, we think strategy as far as like what market we want to hit mainly, right? And we want to create a model that is going to attract the most amount of customers of that market, right? So if I know like my target customer is certain demographics and this is how much he'll spend and so forth, we'll go even when we're looking for a location, trying to find a location within that market. Now, the way that we attack the pricing situation is that first we go with a hook, right? So we go really hard after the most common repairs. And what we do is that we price it as low as we can, okay? But on the back end, we have a very strong strategy on teaching our managers on how to upsell, right? Because we want, part of us investing into our marketing is that I want anyone who finds us to go to us, right? And the way we do that is no one is going to outprice us from the get-go, right? And then 2, we're going to give them an amazing warranty. So that's like an immediate, hey, I'm going to go to this shop. It looks nice, right? The people are well informed. They have very good reviews. Pricing is great. They have an amazing warranty. So some people would say, if you have a low price, people might be saying, hey, if this is too low, it might be sketchy or whatever. But when you go back and say, hey, we have a lifetime warranty on repairs, that sketchiness goes away right away. Now, when they come into your shop, our job is to upsell them, right? So we know what our ticket has to be in order for us to keep this model going, right? And this is an active monitoring where we're like, hey, if for some reason the ticket average goes below what it should be, then it's a red alert, right? Something is not happening. So that's really the way that we do it. And then we are also aware that, to be honest, even though we understand our market, there are different needs. So some people might use their phone and like that they would run their business, right? So they want the best quality. They don't care about the price. They just care about turnaround time, right? And there are some other people who do care about price, and that's why we're also full of different qualities of screens. So we explain that, right? So our prices for you to come into the shop is obviously going to be the cheapest screen, but when you're here, I'm going to try to upsell you if that's what you need, right? And it's all about what your customer needs and understanding. So we have a few questions that we ask from the get-go, trying to understand where am I going to place this customer that is coming in? Is he the kind of customer who's really concerned about quality, or is he the customer who's concerned about turnaround time, or is he a very price conscious customer? So that's how we break them down, and based on that is, you know, the upselling work that we do.
Okay, thank you, Sril. So now that we all agree that, you know, first you have to research your market and then price your products accordingly, what exactly do you think is the thinking that goes behind repair shop owners charging so high? Like, why do they do that knowing that, you know, they're charging high? I mean, does that impact their growth?
Can I add to this?
Sure.
Okay, I think they're charging so high because they have less customers. That's
Absolutely. I would agree with that. That's perfectly said. And just hit.
Go ahead. I want to listen. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I also think that everyone has a different goal, right? Some of us might have the goal of saying, hey, I want as many shops as we can, right? And our growth is just there. But I do know people that are just their goal in life is to be amazing technicians and just give that amazing customer experience where they don't want to get out of the shop life, right? And those people might charge higher because they have to pay their own costs, which is them associated with it. So it's not necessarily bad. I think it just means like, what do you really want to achieve, right? So if you just want to run an amazing shop and live within the shop, it's not necessarily bad. Now, for people who are trying to grow and say, hey, you know, I want to be like these guys, like Techie that has, you know, X amount of locations, then you do need to start thinking on a more, you know, broader light. So that's kind of like my takeaway here.
I will disagree with Israel on that because, you know, you may want to sound nice and cool because I want to work out of my shop, but then someone else will, because business is different. It's 2021. You have to be aggressive if you want to continue to do your business, because someone will open a shop right next to you. They will drive the prices down and then you have to do it. So I strongly believe that if you're not aggressive about business, if you don't, one of the challenge I feel working with repair shop owners is they are great technicians, but they're not great business owners. If you want to expand your business, grow your business, you have to act like a businessman. You need to know what your numbers are. You need to have a price strategy on how you want to price your repairs, how much time it will take, and there can be different component to it. You know, part cost, how much time it will take for you to repair, what are your overhead costs are. And then this should be transparent, not only just with you, your manager, but with your team as well. You don't want to lose a customer because he wanted $10 off, and you could have given him an off and make that money from upselling a customer or by getting a referral 1 month, 2 months, or getting a review. So I believe that although if you're a great technician, great, but you are in business to make money, grow your business, and that should be your ultimate goal. That you're not losing your customer because you were not able to serve him. That's what I say.
If I could add,
I just think that price is not everything either. I mean,
Yep.
I think price is the means to a strategy, right? But we cannot say that because you don't have it cheap enough, people won't come. You can build an amazing brand. You would just know what your limitations are, right? That's kind of what I meant with that. So it just depends on the goal that you have. Your goal might be to grow, then you do need to be, you know, put it more in an automated way. But if your means are to build a brand where you are, I mean, some of these guys, you know, they're happy being one-man shops, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it just depends what you're trying to do. That's, you know, I think that's kind of like how business works overall, right?
Well, keep it simple, guys. I mean, keep it simple as well. They might just not know.
That's true. That's what I want to say.
So
and they might not be able to handle growth either, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing. So you can have it cheap enough, and then you have 100 repairs come one way, and they're not ready. Your business is gonna tank, you know, at the end of the day. So it's a balance.
It's a balance, and there's a lack of knowledge it's like let's say a restaurant. Let's go a little bit to a restaurant. There's a chef and there's an owner. the chef is a great, good guy to make food and steaks and everything, but he cannot run the operation. If you have, I mean, you can be both sometimes. I'm not saying that, you know, the repair guy cannot be an owner, but if you're running your operation like a mechanic, like a shop, no, that's not going to work. There's marketing, there's training, there's image, there's branding, there's all these things that can bring the customers. So back again to this, the pricing, I don't think anybody want to hurt this business. I don't think anybody want to charge a lot for a small, but when you don't have income, you're desperate, you start making mistakes, and that's a big mistake, chasing customers away instead of to keep them in the house. That's, you know, I'm speaking my retail days. I will satisfy the customer, even if I make a little bit, just to make sure he brings me more customers.
I agree
Thank you,
completely
Ahmed.
with that.
Thank you all of you for the for the opinion and everything. Let's move on to the next mistake. So what another mistake that a lot of repair shop owners make is that they keep on concentrating on, you know, making enough so that they can pay their bills, they can pay their rent and all the other expenses. What they don't concentrate on, what they don't focus on is growing, you know, spending time, investing time in, you know, actually thinking of ways to grow their business. So starting with Alex, what do you think about it?
I mean, these are very important things. You do want to make sure your bills and everything are getting paid, obviously. So it's kind of hard to not focus on that, but it can't be what you base your business off of. You know, you can't, like Ahmed was saying, you can't charge this customer an exorbitant amount to be able to pay the bill here. You know, you need to focus on the bigger picture. You need to do everything you can to make the customer experience so good that it starts drawing in more people, or put that little bit of money you have in, you know, a specific ad that you know is going to bring something. You really need to focus on growing the business, and the bills will come. You know, the money for the bills will fall into place if you're doing everything right on the business side. You know, you got to believe that your efforts will pay off. I don't know how else to put it.
I mean, the best way to put it,
there's a hustle every way.
the best way to put it is hire a bookkeeper, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Hire somebody to do, yes, exactly.
you didn't go to school for this.
Yeah,
Focus
no,
on the growth. The hell with that.
There's
Keep it simple.
Yep.
QuickBooks, $40 does it all for you.
I-
Very
Yeah.
true.
Something, man.
Yep. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was my first year. I didn't hire an accountant. I did it all myself, and I hated it.
I hated it.
Second year, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, what do they want? Do my
Yeah.
books. I'm done.
Yep.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is the best time. When I had my stores, there's a guy who was charging me like $70 or $80 per door, and I had a few stores. It was the best bill I paid. I don't want to hear. I want to see profit and tell me where I'm leaking so I can fix the leak. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a typical keeper.
You can say, hey, look, there's other ways. Some people might not be able to afford it that are listening right now. You know, you could say, hey, look, I'll give you 1% of my profits if you can do my accounting. If you don't have the money, think outside the box. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Barter. The barter system is great in this industry.
Yeah. So just, you know.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad advice going in the industry. Like, if I want to invest in my money, I'm going to go to the banker. I'm going to go to investing firm. I'm not going to go to my brother and my sister and my mom and my dad. I'm not going to go to, I'm sorry, I have a great friends. I'm just not going to go to my friends either. They might give me the worst advice. If I want to do open a store, I'm going to go and talk to a business planner, get a loan, and all these things. Of course, there's advice I need to get from the industry, like you guys the expert in the repair. But you're not expert in accounting, like you said. You're not expert in like, you might help me a little bit in marketing. You might help me, but not everything I'm going to get from the industry. There's a lot of people getting everything from the industry and just keep bouncing this. I love the industry. Don't get me wrong. I want to drive the industry to the top, but they need to understand there's experts when it comes to accounting, when it comes to communication, billing, like opening a store without a billing system, POS system, is a disaster. Nobody knows their numbers. Nobody knows if they're running out of parts. Overnight screen, while you should have had 10 of them at least sitting in your warehouse. All these things, mistakes that can hurt them and cost them money and lose customers.
Yeah, I love these questions. I think that Usman spent a lot of time just trying to think on how to poke, people with these questions. But if we're, reading this, focusing on paying bill, rent, and other expenses, it is 100. It could be a little misleading, and if we're thinking from a strategy perspective, I think some people might read this, and I'm afraid that they would say, you know, oh, I'm thinking about buying this piece of equipment, and because you know you shouldn't be focusing on paying bills, rents, and other expenses, I'm gonna go for it, right? And I think that would be like a misleading part of what the mistake number 2 is. I think here you do need to focus on control your expenses, right? You need to control your expenses as far as saying you have a budget for expenses and I'm going to stay there, right? Now, what this is saying is do not focus on saying every single dollar that or every work that I'm doing is going to go towards that. You know what your expenses are. That's it. Now move on, make money, and make sure you cover them every month. So I think that's kind of like how you cover this mistake, right? You just say, this is what I have to get, and have a goal. I'm sure that, you know, all of us here have daily goals, right? Or weekly goals that we need to hit. And those goals are given because of these expenses. And before you go out and say, hey, I'm going to buy this new piece of equipment, I need to think, did I make enough money last month, right? Because if I didn't, then first I need to make sure that I control my expenses, and then I move on, right? I cannot just lie to myself and say, hey, I shouldn't be worried about it. I'm sure I'm going to make money one day. Like that's just not right.
These are great points. What I would like to add is the number one goal of the business owner is every day you wake up is thinking about how you can grow your business further, how you can serve your customers better. And just like Israel mentioned, you should know your numbers on okay what your expenses are, and you have a strategy to cover these expenses. That's it. Now every day you should wake up. You say, okay, how I can serve 5 more customers? What can I do to earn an extra $1,000, $2,000? What can I do when I'm sleeping? I'm making money as well. And in the beginning, when you start your business, you should not be thinking about making a lot of profit. You should not even pay yourself. When I started Repair Desk for the first 18 months, I didn't take a single dime from Repair Desk. I bootstrapped myself. I was paying salary to my employees, but I was not paying myself. So yeah, the number one goal for a business owner should be marketing, growing your business, meeting customers on the floor to know what their pain points are, building partnerships, so you can serve more customers, and hiring great people.
Yep, yep. And one thing I just want to add to Osman, opening a business is, starting your own business is be ready for the suffering, for the late nights, for the tired, for no vacations, investing, putting the money. The wife and the husband, if he's married, they need to be on the same page. There is a suffering coming to the family, but for a better cause. Cutting costs, I like Israel, what he said, watch your spending, because the spending can put you out of business as well. If you're making X and spending more, then you're burning, you're going down. So watch your spending. The personal things that this need to go away. The nice cars and all these things, let it go. Don't even watch people. Don't focus on others. Focus on yourself. Grow your business and invest in the business. No matter what you do, everything has to go to the business. 100%.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Let's move on to the next mistake. So again, another very common mistake that a lot of cell phone repair business owners make is that they undermine the importance of customers. They concentrate on anything but the customer. Like they don't build on the relationship, and they don't really put in the effort that they need to. So Dennis, we haven't heard from you in a while. Can you add to this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that this is not just, an aspect of owners itself, but overall with employees, right? But especially for owners, I would love to stress, how important it is that you make sure that each and every single customer that walks in there, you show respect, you show that you care for them, you show that you want them. We get all sorts of different customers coming in. My store is a big storefront, so we don't just do repairs, we do many other things, and we get a variety of customers. We get customers that walk in that could possibly, you can judge them by what they will do, and possibly steal. but then you can look at these customers and you can instantly do that. One thing is I've realized that a lot of times what happens is that when these customers walk in, all of a sudden the aspect of respect goes away. All of a sudden the aspect of even showing him the customer service that you would show to another goes away. And I just can't stress enough of how important it is for owners themselves to realize that, because each and every single customer that walks in, sometimes there's been times that you think that this customer won't purchase anything and they end up buying more than the next. And the reason why I even would bring this up in general is because I have spoken with people in the past, and a lot of times is they go based off of even pricings. If this customer can't pay this and this much amount, then they're not worth my time. I don't look at it that way. Each and every single customer is worth my time because they are my future customers. And these are things that I have heard in the past of people say, and sadly to say that it's even owners. And we have great experts here that are, giving their advice, and I'm sure that a lot of them will agree with. And overall, I would hear this a lot of times, and I'm not trying to put myself up. There's a lot more successful people here speaking than myself. But the reason I bring this up is that I hear this from small shop owners. I was a small shop owner myself. And a lot of times what happens is they're always discussing, pricing, but then back to this customer isn't worth my time if they can't pay, or just overall, I had this and this person come in, they instantly belittle, degrade the customer. I had experience with customers that walk in fancy, and I had experience with customers that walk in, with just a tank top on and some shorts. So there's different ways, and I just can't stress enough of how important it is to make sure that each and every single customer receives the same kind of respect, the same customer service, and the same kind of experience that you would have given any other person, that walks into your store.
Awesome. Thank you. Tim, so you have a franchise. I'm sure you have a few protocols set in place to ensure that, all customers are treated nice. Could you please tell us a little bit about that? Like, what kind of protocols do you have in place? How do you ensure that all customers, all new customers turn into, lifetime customers? What do you do?
Just listen. It's simple, guys. Just listen. Give them that one-on-one. Pay attention. That's it. Just show them an experience that they're never gonna forget, and that's the first step to it. And that's it. There's no magic tool to this. You know what I mean? It's give it your all when these customers walk through the door. Treat them like either they are gonna pay or you're gonna die. If you just give that strategy every time that customer walks, if I don't get this customer right now, I'm gonna die. You're gonna be.
What about customers who are very difficult to deal with? Nobody wants to deal with them, but then again, they, I'm assuming that they form like a good percentage of the total amount of customers that you get.
First, you got to agree. You got to agree with the customer. I understand you're frustrated. I totally agree with you. You shouldn't have been treated that way. That's the first part of sales is agree. And then
nailed it.
You follow through.
Nailed it.
Never challenge the customer. You'll lose, always. And I like what Tim said. Just run your business be paranoid when running your business. That's going to be taken away from you, and that's how you're going to survive. Yep. Be extra careful. Talk to people. Ask the right questions. Listen more. Talk less. All these things I tell my team. Just listen to your customers and agree with them. Like you said, you know what I mean. 99% is going to work if it's not 110%. It's just don't sell it. Give your customers what you think is right for them. Give them what they ask you for. All these things are important. And of course, give your advice and all these recommendations, but listen first and then talk less.
I would like to talk about importance of customer service while we are here. Obviously, selling is listening. There was a very old woman. I would like to quote an example. There was a very old woman. It was a self-service gas station. She walked up, and the guy on the counter, he thought that it's very late at night. He went out. He helped the woman. And when he came back, his manager asked, "Why did you go over there to help the woman?" He said, "It's late at night. and I thought it won't be nice for her to. It's very cold. It won't be nice for her to come out, and I just wanted to help her. And the manager said, you know what? Now that whenever she comes back, she's going to expect the same service. And the response was very amazing. The guy at the counter said, you know what? She's going to come back again and again. And that's what you should strive for when you serve your customers.
Yep.
One of the things that I want to add really quick is I don't think usually, people are going to start a business thinking, that negative at the beginning, right? But after a while, you start getting into those into that mentality of like, man, this customer's not worth it, and so forth. So something I do have to say about that I do take seriously is getting burnt out is real, right? So I think part of living a balanced life as much as you can, or taking a day off when you feel like this, I think it's key. It is key 100%, because dealing with customers is not easy. Remembering this is not easy, right? So if you try to have a balanced life as much as you can, I think it will help, and it's helped me 100%.
Okay. Thank you, Sahil, for your input. The next mistake, we've kind of already covered it, but we're going to mention it again, focusing on instant gratification rather than investing in the business. I think Usman mentioned that he didn't draw any salary for 18 months before, in the beginning. So, I mean, the focus needs to be there. But what about people who are completely dependent on the business and they need to draw something out of it? Like, how do you go about that? How do you have to draw something? Not everybody has the luxury of, foregoing that initial salary. Like, a lot of people are dependent on it completely. How do they go about, that? Alex, could you start with this?
Hold on, I'm gonna have to pass it off to somebody else really quickly. I just gotta address it.
I can keep it short and simple, guys. Invest in the people. People grow business, and that's it. I mean, just invest into your people, and then people grow your business. Simple.
Okay.
I would say also that you just need to be realistic about where you're at, right? So if you go into a shop that has been, in business for a while, and they have different locations, and clearly the capital is not there for you, it's impossible to think you're going to start there, right? And if the question is, if you're by yourself and that's kind of like where your income is coming and you need income, then you just have to think, this is where I want to get, but this is where I'm at, right? So I might need to do it as a one-man shop, and it might not look as if you're not paying yourself. You might be paying yourself, but you're going to be paying yourself as exactly what you need, right? So you would have to look at your expenses, minimize your expenses, and then just get exactly that. And then everything else, that's where you start, right? You start investing into the growth. But it is 100%, real. I mean, I started literally with $1,000 in the bank. I was a grad student, right? And I was like, I wasn't making a lot of money as a grad student, teaching one class at the university. But I had to be real and say, look, I don't even have money for a shop. I needed to start in my car. I needed to start people coming to me. And, sometimes I see the posts that are made into the groups asking, hey, what is the best way to get free advertisement? And then, you see the flood of comments saying, well, you need to invest into this, invest into that. The truth is, when you're broke, you're broke, right? So what do? You find free advertisement. There's tons of free advertisement. So free as in not money, right? Like free as in you would put your time.
Right.
Marketplace, Craigslist. There are so many ways that you can get the word out there at the beginning, right? And then you start automating, right? When you're like, okay, now I have $1,000 extra a month. Now let me invest, right? So you just have to be realistic where you're at, and then come with a strategy that fits you. You cannot copy the guys that have been in business for a while. You need to see what you need.
Yep.
And I agree, you do have to fit, and invest when you can. That's really the biggest thing. And not hiring somebody too soon, or not paying for that marketing campaign when you have no money to do it. you know, the big things when we started was, you know, I would go and I'd buy pizzas, you know, $5 pizzas from whatever the local place, and I'd go to all the cell phone stores, hand those guys pizzas and say, hey, we're right down the street. Your customers ever break a phone, send them our way. And that brought us a ton of business. You know, I spent $50 in pizzas and I got probably a couple $1,000s in repairs over the next 2
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
You know, so simple, you know, little things. And then when you get to that critical point where the repairs are too much for you to do in a single day, you know, then you start looking at investing in an employee. You know, then you start looking at, you know, bringing somebody in who's going to help you grow, and you only do it when the need's there. The same can be said for budgeting and everything. Don't go into this business and setting yourself up and buy every tool you can find for every possible repair that could be done. You know, you invest in those things as you need them. So that you
Yeah.
should take that approach to every aspect. You know, don't get the $2,000 laser machine right when you open your store. You know, do it with heat and a X-Acto knife, you know, for a little bit, learn a little bit, and then build up that savings to get there. You know, build those tools, you know, and build that customer base and work on your customer relations before you throw all your money away, you know, and bury yourself in debt.
Thank you, you guys. Let's move on to the next mistake that they make, cell phone repair shop owners make. The next mistake is that they don't really have a plan B. Like when the pandemic hit, a lot of repair shops closed, shut down completely because they were unable to adapt. They did not have the resources. They did not know how to adapt to the new circumstances. They did not have a plan B, basically. That is one of the mistakes that they make. Tim, can you help with this? Like, do you have something to add to it?
I mean, we kind of addressed it already, but you know, write down your goals every day, every week, and you're not going to need a plan B. I mean, just complete those goals, and you're never going to need a plan B. You know, like that's it. I mean, I know it sounds so simple, guys. You have to work it. I mean, it's just part of it, and you have to understand where you're coming in. You know, look, nothing.
You have to really try to fail in this industry, I've realized.
Yeah.
Like, tech is going to be here forever. Everybody's going to break their tech. You know, we're secure. To fail in this industry, you really have to try.
I agree with both of them. I mean, just first off, you know, each and every single one of us that woke up today, I can guarantee you we have a plan. We have something written down that we need to achieve and we need to go on from. You know, and even waking up in the morning, I can guarantee you that Tim, Alex, and everybody else over here, just for some reason shows 4 on here, didn't get their name, already have a list of what they need to get done. And when I say plan B, I'm not talking about, you know, if this doesn't work out, let's go back to McDonald's and work there. But each and every single person in business has to have something that they're going to go off of, and they have to have a plan so that they can continue succeeding in the future. And that's just, it's very important.
Along with having a plan, A or B, obviously, first you need to have a plan, and second, you need to have a mentor. You should have someone who has been through the process, and you should look up to him if you get into trouble or if you need some advice. And he should be someone, not your friend or anyone, but who has achieved some success in the business. So have a mentor who can guide you throughout the process.
So Israel, how did you manage, you know, with the COVID situation and everything? How were you able to, you know, adapt to the situation?
I would add a third thing to it. I liked everything that I'm listening. I think the first one is overall, it's just the mentality of an entrepreneur, right? Like there's no way they can kick you to the ground and not get up. Like you just always get up, right? And not necessarily have a plan B where it's like, oh, plan B, here it is. You know, like you're always thinking of ways, right? Number 2, 100% mentor. I would add a third in this. We are responsible for the business, right? And I feel responsible to make sure we show a profit, right? That's my responsibility. And along with that responsibility comes making hard decisions, right? And if you ask me what is the hardest decision that you had to make in the last 90 days, you know, trying to fight COVID and all of this that is going on, is having to let people go. we invested so much money into our people, right? But somehow, if we go back to mistake 2, I think it was, I need to watch the expenses, right? The whole idea here is I need to keep the business afloat. I need to show a profit, and we cannot sink, right? And it's not about pride, right? It's not about, hey, I went from X amount of people to Y amount of people. It's about, we need to get this going, right? And we are all in the same mindset that we fight for the team. So I would say number 3 is having to make hard decisions and call whoever you have to call and negotiate with whoever you have to negotiate, right? And you just have to keep going. There's no shame, right, in reducing expenses, and that's how I see it.
Correct.
So sorry, Emmett, do you have something to add?
No, I did what Osman did just a minute ago. First, let me say what Tim said: invest in your team and just do it. There's no plan B. I didn't have any plan B. My plan A, the plan B is to invest more, so to push even more, not to support plan A. Osman said get a mentor. Very important to be talking to the right person that they can lift you up, because we all have our downtime. And we have to have a mentor. I have a mentor. The guy I met when I was 20 some years ago, and he got me to this business like from wide open. I mean, he just showed me the road and he said, just go right. And I just kept trying until I got where I'm at. So definitely mentor is important. Israel said make the tough decisions. If you follow me, you'll see I am hiring one every other, every month. I'm not adding, I'm replacing. The one that the fat cat's gotta go and the new blood need to come. I'm sorry to say this, but I had to let go a lot of people, and they know that. And I walk in when I see something not right in my organization. I know some negativity is going on. So get rid of the negativity, get rid of the crying babies, and bring the players. Don't get me wrong. I invest in the existing one. I owe them a lot of my my success. But if they start getting weak, I just can't. I can't run on 3 tires. I gotta have 4 tires to keep moving. So tough decisions were made. Good move. What's happened? It hurt me because I have to train them. I have to invest in them more. But I have a new, fresh, clear mind, guys, that want to grow. So this is a lot of tough decisions we had to make the past 6 months, and thank God we made it. And the production back again, and it's even more. So just keep moving. I mean, like to get back again, the plan A need to be plan A, and support the plan A all the time.
Okay, thank you, Emmett. But what a lot of repair shop owners do is they think they have a plan because it's somewhere in their head. They know what they want, but they've never really put it, on paper. How important do you think that, having a plan like a written down plan is? Tim, could you add to this?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a plan. I mean, if you don't have a plan, what are you doing? You might as well just stop right now.
And what exactly should a plan include? Like, because a lot of people, they know what they want, where they want to be. I want to earn so and so, by the end of like this quarter or whatever. But what kind of things should a plan have? Dennis, could you shed light on that?
I mean, it's difficult to say what kind of plan they should have. I saw some owners that decided to move their team to basically install, I believe it was for Comcast or something around the lines of going to people's houses and installing the satellite, I believe it was. And they went and got creative, right? You as an entrepreneur, there's a reason that, you're in that position. It's to become creative and figure out a way and what to do in that situation. I myself, I luckily didn't have to, go through having to let go of people. But yes, it is important to definitely, if you have to, you got to let them go, just as everybody was saying that. But again, it's kind of difficult to be able to have it written down and say, well, this is my plan B. This is what I'll go for. But always have an open mind. Always have an open mind of, let's become creative. Some of them jumped in their cars, started to repair, in different cities or people's houses. So you just have to, make sure that if this is not really working, let me figure something out. Maybe I can make some sales on eBay. Maybe I can, make some income from here. Generate something from somewhere. Figure it out, and you have to figure it out quick.
I get that. I meant having
will-
a written down plan A, not plan B.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
call it an action plan. That's my
Action plan.
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, the basic plan, the business plan, we're talking about that. Like you should have
I
that.
would like to add on that. One of the strategies we use is OKR, objective and key results. It's a very easy way to, very easy goal setting method. You can create 2 or 3 objectives, like what you want to achieve in this quarter or in this month. Let's say if you're doing $30,000 in sales, you can your goal can be, during this month we want to increase our sales, and key results can be how you are going to increase your sales. Now another plan you should have is your financial projections. Okay. So, and you can work with your accountant to build these projections. It can be very simple. I hope, or I believe this can be a next topic for a blog on how your business plan should be for a cell phone repair store. But you can have your numbers, and you should be transparent with your team as well. Okay, just like every day you should be showing that plan to your team and have that printed in your and keep it in your pocket. Every morning when you should wake up, you look at that plan and think of 2 or 3 things how you're going to achieve that plan today. What are you going to do to achieve that plan? If you're that focused about achieving your goals, your
Goals.
magic of your mind will start working. You can read about Bob Proctor on how magic of mind works. I'll talk more in the comments.
The word I was looking for is goals. Set goals. Set goals. Then and this quarter we're going to be this. Every quarter we have goals. We have numbers to meet, and we have places to go to. It's just set goals. And then and if you're not achieving your goal, then something is wrong in your plan. Change the plan. That's what I'm saying. Like the plan can be adjusted, not changed. The goal is the same, but just, what's your mission, and then what's your what's and the goals that you want to get to.
Okay. So moving on to the next mistake, a lot of repair shop, it's a thankless job. You go on for 16 hours or more, and it can go on for long. And what happens is that people usually think that this will go on forever, and they become a little hopeless, because it does go on for a while before you're able to get a handle on things and start really earning money and all of that. So how do you cope with that? Why do people why do cell phone repair shop owners actually get stuck in that rut and are unable to grow?
They get comfortable. That's what it is. You have to be, I mean, I don't know what else to say than you have to, again, it's like you're going to die tomorrow. I mean, you have to continue to grind. You owe it to your family. You owe it to your employees. You owe it to your franchisees. You have to continue to work, and you have to have the right mindset. And if you don't have the right mindset.
Timothy, what was it? 2 years until Walmart finally connected with you?
Yeah, it took me 2 years, man. It took me 2 years.
2 years.
Persistence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's really simple. You know what I mean? Like, believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, and go get it. And you're never gonna. The grind is always there, and it will never leave. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's evolving. You got to evolve with the industry, and it goes back to, I forget what mistake it was, 3 or 4. Listen to your customers. That's your biggest room, your biggest area for growth is what are they asking for that you're not offering?
Yep.
Grind to do that. Grind to offer that service that you're not offering yet. That's a lost avenue of revenue.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing, is listen to your customers. I think I'm the smallest fish here. I got one store. I think everybody here has multiple stores, but I went in, I had a really detailed plan. I tried to stick to that plan. I did my research of where my store was, what my area around me, what their income was, what they may be able to afford. Are they a throwaway, buy new? Are they a repair first? And just using that knowledge, you're grinding, you're grinding to provide for those people, to offer new things and grow your business. I think that's a huge part of it.
Yep. And another thing is what you said. is doing the same thing and expect different results is insanity. It's not going to work. Like Tim, stick with to your guns. You know, continue grinding. There's no other way I can explain it better than Tim. Train your team. Invest in your team. Investing in the team is the best thing we've done. Yeah, we made some tough decisions, but at least we got but we invest in the team. Every week there is a training, there is talking, there is listening. And then whatever we do, we implement with the customers. If it's not working, train again, invest, and then what do you call it? Training, and changing your strategy. It's very important as well.
Yeah, thank you. So let's move on to the next mistake. A lot of repair shop owners, especially when they're beginning, they are very hesitant to delegate tasks or to hire more employees, and they are the ones who are working overtime and taking on all the responsibility, which kind of hinders their growth also as a business. So Dennis, can you?
Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how important it is to have a team. We talk about how important it is to train to make sure that they're doing things accurate. We talk about how important it is that we're all on the same page. And if you believe that every single penny that's to be made is based on yourself, and you are the team, you are setting yourself up for fail. You don't understand how much more income that the next person that's working with you for 8 hours a day or part-time will bring you more income. And it does matter of that you have to focus and make sure that your company can afford it. But at the same time, you have to start off somewhere. If you can't afford them as a full-time, put them as a part-time. If and plug them in, build a team around, start working somewhere. Because if you're a one-man person and you're doing things by yourself, you're going to remain a one-man person, and in the end, your company will be, it's not that you necessarily, I would say, is that you own a business, but the business will start to own you, and you will be out there till 3, 4, 5 in the morning each and every single day, because you are the technician, you are the receptionist, you are the sales rep, you are the, customer service, you're everything. So it's important that you build that team around, and they will start to generate a lot more income.
Okay, so Israel, you have 14 stores, right? So that means that you've done a lot of delegating. Could you tell the importance of it? Like, why should you delegate? Why would you actually encourage new shop owners to delegate and, not take up all the work and, maybe spend some time in growing the business and all of that?
Yeah, I think that one of the most common, sayings, right, in the entrepreneurship world is, man, if I only had like a clone of mine, right? If I only had a clone of mine or two, I could get so much accomplished, right? And the way to clone yourself is really hiring someone and training him, right? So the way I see training our leaders is I'm cloning myself, right? And we've even joked around that, in our meetings, where it's like, we've seen something that works. And if we can replicate that 5 times, then it becomes into having 5 entrepreneurs rather than just one, right? And I strongly believe in this. My leaders are entrepreneurs. My leaders are someone like me who can make decisions and are thinking towards this, right? Now, I think an important part is the last 3 points: follow up with metrics, right? Follow up with metrics. Thinking, I have 3 employees. You might say, oh man, I got 3 employees now, pump your chest up. But the truth is, look at your financials, right? And say, I've had 3 employees for 3 months. How was this when I had 1 employee? Is it better, right? If it's not better, then why are you paying extra, right? So it kind of goes with that. But I mean, the importance of hiring correctly and training correctly is clear. Right? Now, just make sure that they're giving you results and not only think that they give you results.
So Ahmed, you train people also, right? So why do you feel that people generally avoid training? Like, they don't want to spend the time. Why do they do that?
Stubborn, very hard-headed. They think they know it all. They don't believe that I think there's just ego too big. They don't want to tell you, I mean, I don't know how to do things. I need your help. I mean, In my days, I will walk into everybody, and Osman will tell you here. I said, hey, maybe we can help each other. I always use this word, Osman. I go to people, I say, let's work together, let's collaborate. You know, a lot of small businesses, unfortunately, they just, you know, I'm not saying, you know, this is not for everybody to own a business. Some people in the business, because they want freedom, they think that they just don't want to work for others. Sometimes I'd rather work for someone and be trained than do things wrong way and I fall down, you know. So it's just ego. Like I mean, I tell them all the time, you training. I train every day. Every day I'm coming to work. Instead of I listen to whatever singer, I don't even know anymore of singers. I listen to motivation talkers. I listen to people who how to better their lives. I mean, I train myself. I tell people I cannot be as good I am, or I'm not even to the top. I always want to add more. Some people don't want to add more. They just, that's it. I'm comfortable. Like Tim said, they're comfortable. That's your biggest enemy is yourself. Your biggest enemy. I mean, our biggest enemy is ourselves. If we feel comfortable, we start falling down. You have to run your business in paranoia all the time. Someone is going to take this business away from you. There is a book called Only the Paranoid Survive. That book is, you know, read it. It's you know, you got to be running your business, always running. I know you have to make yourself think this way, but you can get some comfort if you want. I mean, I do want to take a vacation here and there, but I don't think about vacations when I open a store. Going back again, Dennis, I worked nonstop for the first 3 years, but thank God my work paid off because now I can hire people, I can relax a little bit. And another thing is, don't keep running your business on loans and when you got to pay off the loan. Some people they've been in loans for 20 years. You got to run your business. Where's your cash? You're spending your cash in the wrong places. So when are you going to be a cash business? That's another thing. It's very difficult. So to get back again, training is important 24/7. Michael Jordan was not the number one. He didn't stop training in the last game. He was always training until he became better and better. Mike Tyson, all these guys keep training.
One thing that I want to add to this, and you know, I think everything said here is true, right? And that is why you are in the business where your passion is, because there's no way you can stay in business and grow if you're not passionate about something.
Yeah,
right? I mean, like Ahmed was saying, like, I mean, even when I go on vacation, right? I might distract myself for an hour or two, but I'm back at it. Like I'm back at it, right? And if someone asked me like, hey man, what would you do if you had a free week? I'm doing what I would do, to be honest. Like I love it. Like I'm here, right? And I think everyone would have the same answer. So that's why it's like, if you're not passionate about this, man, close shop, find something you like, because you're gonna do so much better there.
Figure out how to love it. Just figure it out.
Figure out how to love it.
Figure it out.
Yep.
All I would say about this was just always be hiring, guys. Always be hiring.
That is true.
Yep.
You never.
It's a constant process, right? Getting rid of, and you'll just start building on your team.
Yep.
You will find the right people over time.
Let's move on to the last mistake now. The last mistake is, for a lot of repair shop owners, what they do is they pit themselves against the competition, and instead of actually trying to befriend them, trying to know their business and maybe profit from it or help each other out. Do you agree with that, Timothy?
Yeah, you guys, everybody should be helping each other out. I mean, there's plenty of business to go around, but when it comes down to it, hang out with the winners and you're going to be a winner. Don't hang out with the losers, because then you're going to be a loser. So
that's true.
You guys all around us are winners. You know what I mean? So I would love to hang out with you guys. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to. So if competition is great to have. It strives me every day to wake up and even be better than I am the day before. So.
Yep.
Alex, what do you have to say about it, and how do you go about? How do you get in touch with your competitors, and how do you do that?
I mean, I agree 100% with Timothy. I mean, yeah, healthy competition is always good, but there's, I've made good friends in the last year with, a lot of the shop owners around us. We can all offer a little bit something different, maybe. Not everybody is an all-in-one, does everything shop. So it's good to have those connections. And like the CPRST Facebook group, I use that to meet some of the shop owners local to me. not realizing that there were so many of them in that group that were only like 15 minutes to like 2 hours away from me. But yeah, I mean, you know, reaching out and being cohesive. There's a, you know, guy down the street who will, you know, sometimes buy parts from us because we stock a lot more stuff here, and he's a smaller shop, and you know, he wants to try to keep his customers happy. Sure, I'll do the same thing. You know, if he offers something that I don't have, I'll try to you know, reach out to him. It's just trying to help everybody be successful. You know, we don't need to race to the bottom. We can all help each other, you know, profit in this industry.
So why do cell phone repair shop owners do that? Why do they have that thinking? You know, why you know, think like that at all?
I
When
think
you
it's
know
the
that you
people
can
just
actually
getting into
benefit
the
from the product.
industry. I think it's the people
Mhm.
who are just getting into the industry who have that mentality. They think they need to undercut everybody above them to get on their level. Like they need to do so much, so cheap to get there. I can't really say I understand why they do it. I've never had that mentality, but that's what I would, you know, assume is, you know, they're trying to get to that level that they see you at. So they're, you know, trying to give you a bad name to everybody who comes to them. Oh, you don't want to go there. They don't know what they're doing. Stay here. And then, you know, charge a crazy price. Who knows what they might do. But that's how I think that they might be, you know, reacting and running their business, which I just don't agree with.
I would like to add on. I don't know. You know, I agree with Alex exactly what he said. You know, I would say that there's even businesses that are, you know, been in business and do that. My thing is I try to be, you know, I try to be transparent with everyone around. Just recently, a couple weeks ago, a real story. I just found out that a CPR that is next to me got closed down. I'm not saying exactly that it's, you know, something that we did, but a CPR overall, you know, had an extremely amount of business. We got big backlash from them. You know, don't go to them. We'd have customers that would continuously tell us, oh, CPR is consistently, you know, belittling you guys. They're consistently talking about you guys. And it'd be owner after owner. I have stories after stories of customers accidentally calling, and they would strictly tell them that, yeah, we threw the phone away. I know the owner himself. And, you know, it was 2-3 years ago, you know, and we tried to make something right with them. And then today, now they're just not in business. And if you look at people that are your competitors, you know, as in people that are in the same industry, you will probably do more harm than you will do good. The 110-100 rule. One customer tells 10, you know, customers or even family or whoever, and then those go on and pass the rest of it. And in the end, I mean, after people started finding out what's going on with this particular, you know, CPR, eventually, you know, customers started coming our way. And we hear a lot more of the customers that, you know, would refer back to, well, we used to go to the CPR right here on Zinfandel, and now, you know, this is going on. So I just believe that it's very important that, you know, people in this industry are continuously, you know, are working together. There's something like Alex said that you can offer that they can't. You can have that expensive back glass machine. They might not have it. They might send the customers your way, you know, and there's something that you will have that they don't.
Yeah. And to speak at a bigger thing is like with the big core or, you know, the big repair industries, you know, Samsung phones, everybody knows they're super expensive. There's a UBIF up the street, You Break I Fix. And, you know, they're tied with Samsung. They can do those repairs a lot cheaper than we can right now. So we'll send people over to You Break I Fix to get Samsung repairs. That same You Break I Fix sends all of their game consoles, all of their high-end iPhones, all the, you know, stuff that they don't fix, all their MacBooks that, you know, they can't figure out. They send that stuff back to us. I've never talked to that owner. We just can't get on the same page of communication, but we know that we're referring back and forth. You know, we have an understanding that, you know, we're both here to succeed. So I send him things, he sends me things. And the same thing with Best Buy. We get a lot of referrals from, you know, the techs at Best Buy who they know they can't do things, or their customer wants a faster turnaround, so they send them to us. Can't say I've ever really sent anybody to Best Buy, but you know, it's still the respect is there, so it's a good thing.
I think when I read this, thinking your competition is your enemy, I read it as, I mean, we don't want to trash anyone, right? We don't want to go that route, right? And I think also we need to talk about competition as like what really is your competition. So if someone is not fixing something, but you are, then you're not really competing, right? You might be in the same industry, but you're not competing. Now, when we're talking about, let's say, iPhone screen repair, that is competition 100%, right? Mostly pretty much every shop. And I mean, I'll be fairly disappointed if one of my employees would direct them to another shop, right? So I think the competition side is there, right? Like I don't think because, not necessarily because I see him as my enemy, but I want to grow. So if I figure out a way on how to do backlash for X amount that is leaving me X amount of profit, I'm not gonna go and tell him, right? It's the nature of the business, right? You need to want to grow. Now, I think this is more, I would read this as more, I'm not gonna trash him, right? I'm not gonna trash that person. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna lie about it, right? But I would be thinking, how do we grow? Because that's just the nature of business, right? Anyways, that's kind of like my takeaway here is competition, is one thing, and friendliness, but also don't give your secrets away either, right? Like you have to be real about business.
I want to add something to this. I never bad my competition. We have competition, but I never bad mouth them. At the same time, I don't. How can I say it? There's a fine line right there, because if I don't have a product that the customer is looking for, and it depends on who's the customer. If I really care about them, I said, okay, listen, call this guy, he'll take care of you. I do send them every now and then, but it doesn't matter. There's secrets. There's of course secrets you can never share with anybody, even your best friend. You don't want to give them your secrets, because that's what made you who you are. I mean, Israel is running 13, 14 stores, I heard, and he's thinking about getting to the 20 store. So he's not going to be supporting someone else to grow. But it's a fine line, right, working with your competition. But I know one thing: I never bad mouth competition. Never talk about them. If someone says, "What do you think of this guy?" I'm like, "I don't know much. You just find out yourself." Because I don't want to tell him he's a good guy and he end up being the bad guy. I don't want to tell him a bad guy and then I bring some enemies, and I don't need enemies. So that's something important. Do your best. Invest in your game. If you can't do what they need now, why don't you work on bringing that service to your store and just grow? And that's what we do here.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmed. I think we're going to conclude this over here. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to the questions that some of the attendees have been asking. For starters, I mean, a few of you talked about having mentors. Someone wants to ask, where do you find these mentors and what's the criteria? Who would like to take this?
It's easy. I mean, if you want to find a mentor, you gotta, first of all, you have to have interest to be motivated and understand the industry. So you have to open your mind that I'm not Mr. Know-it-all. I gotta go back to someone and ask. Like, seriously, I don't know much about repair, so I'm gonna be honest. If I want to go to someone, I'll go one of you guys. The other day I sent you a message, Osman, right, a couple of days ago, about where can I get parts, where can I get this, because someone is asking me. I don't want to tell the guy, oh yeah, go ahead and do this. So to get a mentor, believe that you need to better yourself. Believe that there's someone out there you can help you to better yourself and train. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, YouTube. Listen to motivators, listen to planners, listen. Every day, if you look at my history on YouTube, it's all about seminars. I don't have time for, what do you call them, singers and everything. Not every day, sometime, but not all the time. But I do listen to better my life and go to professionals. Google classes, there's sales training, there's sales classes. There's things changing. The industry is changing after this pandemic. We're not the same people a year ago. There's some other things happening. Online business, I'm sorry, I don't want to bring online, but teach yourself how to do online and invest in that side. So to answer your question, go to YouTube, Google, find anything. If anybody want to reach out to me, I'm willing to help you guys. And I do talk. Israel is a great guy as well. Everybody in this call here is a mentor because you have a success story that can motivate people to get to the next level.
And also bad stories that we can tell you about. And it's
Trust me, I mean, we struggled a lot, but we didn't give up, and we continue, and I will continue. And even if I bankrupt, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue.
Great, yeah, great answer, man. Like YouTube, because you can. It depends on where you're at financially. I mean, there's some mentors that are super expensive out there, so it just depends what you have. But yeah, I love that answer, man. YouTube, just go on there and just find so many different mentors just right there.
Also, something that I would say is I've in the past and even now, I know of a few people that I would just, I would say I would love for him to be my mentor, or mentor me in this area. And the truth is that it's the same thing. This is where you see your entrepreneurship spirit, right? So if I know X person who is here and I want to know how he got there, man, I've personally done this. I've called him. I would even go to their office and bring lunch and be like, just sit there, right? Like sometimes a mentor is not necessarily someone that is willing to give you all this time because they can't, right? So I was willing to go and just wait, right? Wait and learn. So really a mentorship is more about you wanting that, right? Because if you wanted to talk to Usman and he's busy, but if you call him 100 times, he's gonna have to pick up. He's gonna have to pick up because he doesn't want you to call him 100 other times. So
I called a guy in New York City, and I wanted something from him back in 2004, 2005. And finally he picked up the phone. I said, I need to see you. I said, I'm busy. I said, oh, no, I really need to see you. That we need to sit down and work a deal. And he said, listen, dude, I'm busy in the next 2 weeks, but I'm available tomorrow and the day after. It cost me $800 a ticket to fly to New York. I said, I'll be there tomorrow. If you want it bad, make it happen. Spend the money. Quit being cheap and go and spend the money. If you want something from someone, go fly, go meet him. Like you said, Israel, call him 30 times, man, until you get what you want. Spend the money. Don't quit expecting things for free, or stay struggle. I mean, if you want to find out, and I went and I saw the guy, met with him for 4 hours or 5 hours, flew back again. You know what I did? I ended up closing the deal because he knew I'm a serious guy. So show yourself you're serious. Don't be saying, okay, when I have time. Just one quick small thing. Sometimes I see offers on one of the Facebook groups, or someone have something very special. The guys, instead of you tell them, how can I call you? You know what they say? DM me. I'm the buyer. You're offering something. I'm asking you to DM me. If I want it, I shouldn't be DMing you. I should be calling you. I should be chasing you. This mentality of I am important, you need to call me, gotta go if you want to grow in this business.
Thank you. I hope whoever asked the question is happy with the answer. Okay, next question. What are the top 3 qualities when you're hiring a technician that you look for?
I can answer this. So
yeah.
I mean, for us, the 3 things I really look for: personability, somebody who is a decent human being, trainability, somebody that has that they want to learn, they want to learn a new task, or they want to grow themselves, and that's the 3rd thing is that potential growth. You can look at them and see that they can take it to the next level. They can fill that platform or the shoes that you need filled, so you can move on to the next thing. But like I can teach anybody how to repair something, but I cannot teach somebody to be a decent human being and talk with customers and empathize and understand and earn that sale or that upsell. That's something in this industry you are born with. I can't teach you to be a decent human being. So those are really like my big 3 things.
Yep.
Dennis, do you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's very important. I mean, especially considering that, you want to hire somebody that is able to, do the job. I believe as dealerships, they like to hire people that have no experience, because when you hire sometimes people that believe they have experience, they're just doing their own stuff. They're going their own route, and they don't want to follow under your guidelines and what your plans and what your business is. So I mean, again, doesn't mean that you can't hire experienced people, but one thing is as long as you hire a decent human being that is willing to understand your vision, your path, it is your business, it is a reason you're there today, then you will make it work.
Yep.
Okay. So what are the absolute 3 no-go, the weaknesses that, you look out for that are like, this guy I am not going to hire at all?
I want to add back on. Yes, I know. They believe that they know everything. I've had that from some people, and I'm like, yeah, well, I know that you won't be working here, so that's the one thing.
Follow my lead, and you'll be successful. Just follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
That's it, man. So, but yeah, I like what I said there, man. Like,
You know, hate me or love me. Every 6 months to a year, every 6 months, someone gotta go, someone gonna come because they feel comfortable and they think they're too good for their job. I mean, and it is what it is. But I like to keep all the team. But you're right. Just look for this decent employee, have some quality in themselves that's willing to learn. The new hire I hired, none of them in the wireless industry, and I love it. They listen to me. They do exactly. They use me. They listen to me 100%. You bring a guy from the industry, think he's too good to be. That's another challenge. So it can go both. I'm not gonna badmouth anybody in the industry. I love everybody in the industry, but make sure that he's a decent human being, and then everything else can follow.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to add, I do need to run, so this is the last thing I'll say. I think for the most important part is not really, I mean, you cannot really have a perfect formula to hire people, right? Like you just have to have somewhat of a guidance. The most important part, at least for us and the way we do it, is that we have 90 days, right? And they have 90 days to show us what they got, right? And then at the 60-day mark, we evaluate, right? And the direct manager, either someone or me, I would say, would I fight to keep this person, right? If this person comes to me today and says, I'm leaving, would I say, hey, bro, you cannot leave how much you want kind of thing, right? Or I would say, man, he's leaving, finally, you know? And sometimes it could be in the middle, right? It would be like, man, is he going or is he not? But if the desire of keeping a person is not there, let him go, right? And that's kind of our rule at a 60-day mark. And I'll say, hey, you know, you have 30 more days. This is what I would like to see. But if not, you know, I would say start finding something else. So that's kind of like a formula. You just have to be okay with the rotation until you get to a team. And I think that's why Tim said, you're always hiring, right? You're always hiring. You cannot stop.
You cannot stop.
If you can afford it, right? If you can afford it.
So Julian Martin has the next question. I'm a one-man shop, 11 years. It's past time to hire employees. The issue is, want to remodel, get SOPs in order, but I'm stuck working in the businesses instead of on it. With everything going on, I don't know where to start.
Get a mentor.
Yeah.
Someone needs to push them. Someone needs just to push them a little bit. They need it. They really need it. Okay, and I don't mean to cut anything, but I work out. I go to the gym all the time. The gym offered me a personal trainer. I said, I don't need this guy. He finally pressured me to take his class. He whipped me. I didn't know that I am not that good until I got a personal trainer. Same thing in sales. You think you know it all. Get a mentor. I like that, Tim. Mentor.
Get a mentor and prioritize.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
are you remodeling the back of your shed in the back where you're working, or are you going to remodel because it needs an actual remodeling? You need to realize and prioritize, you know, and that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, call me if you need some help. How about that? I'll help you out.
That's great. Okay, the next question is from Abraham Lopez. Is it safe to become an admin bookkeeper and work on the business myself when I have grown to have 5 employees now? Or should I continue working in the business and hire the bookkeeper instead?
Hire a bookkeeper.
Hire a bookkeeper. Hire
Hire bookkeeper. I got one more minute, guys. I got another.
Yeah, we're running a little late.
Sure. Okay, the next question is, would you hire an experienced tech or more specifically a guy who has been doing repairs personally?
Alex already answered that. Hire somebody that's a good person.
No.
Okay,
what's
the
the-
last question I would ask? Sorry, Mara, I believe everyone is short on time. Is when do you guys think that you should go and open a second location?
I only have one location. I can't answer that.
That's a tough question. That's a tough
that's a
question
long
because yeah, and it's a very long answer, but it is a tough question. I mean, you got to know what position you stand in.
Yeah, where you at in life? What's your mindset? You know.
Yeah. How's your finance? How's your trust? I mean, your hiring process. Your system. You need to have a good system that communicate both stores together. You need to know what's going on there when you're not there. If you don't know what's going on there, don't open it.
Yep.
Okay, thank you everybody for taking out the time and being here and sharing your opinions with us. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody. Thanks. I met you guys. Great. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very
Everyone,
much.
take care.
Yep.
Thanks
Bye.
so much.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Thank
Take
you so
care.
much, everyone. Have a good one. Stay
You
safe.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye. चलो, बस अब तुम में ही रह गए।
end meeting कर दे. End it.
Stop share.